There are verses in the Quran that feel like oceans. You step into them thinking they are shallow, but the deeper you walk, the more they draw you into unfathomable depths. One such verse is Surah Al-Baqarah, Ayah 26. At first it seems simple. Allah gives the example of a mosquito. But stop for a moment. Why would the Lord of the throne, the creator of galaxies, the one who holds the secrets of time itself, choose such a small, almost invisible creature as his parable? For some this seems trivial, for the arrogant, even offensive. But for the seeker, the lover of truth, it is an opening into a world where every leaf, every speck of dust, every buzzing insect becomes a door to the divine. This verse is not just about a mosquito, it is about you. It is about the hidden nature of yourself, your ego, your illusions, your journey toward God. Tonight, let us walk together into this verse, line by line, word by word, feeling its resonance not just in the mind, but in the body, in your heartbeat, in your breath, in the subtle trembling of your soul as it listens. Indeed, Allah is not timid to present an example, that of a mosquito or what is beyond it. This is a thunderclap. The verse does not begin with the parable. It begins by shattering human arrogance. Allah says, I am not shy, not hesitant, not ashamed to give the example of the smallest thing. Why does Allah begin like this? Because the human mind is full of pride. The human ego loves grandeur. It wants God to speak only of stars, of mountains, of kings and empires. But the Lord of Majesty chooses the opposite. He begins with what the arrogant overlook, what the proud dismiss, the tiny mosquito. The mosquito, weak, fragile, easily crushed by the flick of a hand. And yet it carries profound lessons. To the Sufi, the mosquito is a mirror. What is a mosquito? A being that survives not on its own effort, but by piercing others and drawing their lifeblood. Is this not the condition of the ego? The nafs feeds on what it does not produce. It lives by draining, by clinging, by stealing energy from the heart, from remembrance, from light. The mosquito is restless. It hovers, buzzes, never still. Just like the mind that cannot stop its chattering, the ego that cannot rest in silence. The mosquito drinks blood in the dark of night. Likewise, the ego feeds on the soul when we are heedless, when the light of remembrance has dimmed. Do you see now why Allah chose this? The example is not random, it is a window. Through the mosquito, Allah shows you the smallness of your ego, the dependence of your soul, the fragility of your illusions. And then Allah adds, or what is beyond it. The mosquito is only one step. Beyond it lie greater realities, forces unseen, subtle beings, cosmic energies. The Sufis say creation is layered. From the smallest cell to the vast galaxies, every layer carries a reflection of the divine name. To see God in the small is to open the vision to see Him in the great. The true seeker never says, this is too small to be a sign of God. For the lover of truth, the smallest breath is a universe, and the buzzing of an insect can open a door to eternity. And as for those who believe, they know that it is the truth from their Lord. Here the verse shifts. After presenting the example, Allah divides humanity, not by wealth, not by status, not by lineage, but by response. The believer sees the parable and immediately feels, this is truth. Even if the mind does not grasp every detail, the heart knows. The heart tastes. The believer has trained the eye of the soul to see divine light shining through every form. To them, even a mosquito reveals God's artistry. This is a secret of the path. Faith is not only believing in what you understand, faith is surrendering to what you do not yet understand, knowing that if it comes from Allah, it contains wisdom. The believer reads this verse and whispers, if Allah mentioned it, then in this mosquito lies a treasure. Let me search, let me reflect, let me listen. The heart of the believer transforms the small into the infinite. For when you see the divine signature on a leaf, on a droplet, on a mosquito's wing, you see that there is no place where He is absent. But as for those who disbelieve, they say, what did Allah intend by this example? The disbelievers mock. They laugh. They ask, "What is this? Why would God speak of something so lowly?" But notice carefully. Their problem is not the mosquito. Their problem is their own arrogance. Their mockery is not curiosity, it is rebellion. The Quran exposes the state of the soul. When the heart is veiled, even wisdom appears as nonsense. When the soul is drunk on pride, even divine light looks like darkness. The Sufis say, a parable is a mirror. If your heart is clean, the mirror shows you truth. If your heart is rusted, the mirror shows you distortion. The disbelievers see absurdity, not because the verse is absurd, but because their eyes are blind. They cannot see through the veil of their own ego. Here lies a profound lesson. The Quran does not only guide, it also tests. The same verse that opens paradise for one heart becomes a barrier for another. Not because the verse changed, but because the heart responded differently. He misleads many thereby and guides many thereby. This is a mystery that shakes the mind. How can the same verse guide and misguide? How can the same parable be a lantern for one and a blindfold for another? The Sufi masters explain with a simple truth. The Quran is like rain. When rain falls on fertile soil, it gives birth to flowers, fruits, and gardens. When the same rain falls on salty ground, it produces nothing but waste. The rain is the same, but the soil is different. So too the verse is one. The difference lies in the soil of the heart. If the heart is humble, the verse guides. If the heart is arrogant, the verse becomes a veil. This is why Sufis say, revelation is not just information, it is transformation. It enters you according to your state. The mosquito can be your teacher, or it can be your mockery. The choice is yours. And he misleads not except the defiantly disobedient. Allah seals the verse with clarity. Misguidance is not random. It does not fall upon the innocent. It touches only those who are defiantly disobedient, those who reject, who rebel, who cover the truth even when they see it. In Sufi reflection, this has a subtle meaning. Misguidance itself can sometimes be a form of mercy. When the rebellious heart is led further into confusion, the pain of being lost may awaken longing. The thirst of distance can become the spark that makes one search again. But for those who persist in arrogance, the mosquito remains only an insect, and the Quran remains only words. Mystical unfolding of the mosquito. The mosquito lives on blood. So does the ego live on desire. The mosquito buzzes and disturbs silence. So does the mind chatter, keeping the soul from rest. The mosquito is weak, yet causes sleepless nights. So too is the ego weak, yet it robs the seeker of peace. And just as one can end the mosquito with a simple slap, the ego too can be silenced with a single moment of surrender, when the heart bows fully to Allah. This is why Allah chose it, not to belittle revelation, but to awaken you to your own state, to remind you that even the smallest creature can hold the secret of your soul. Closing reflections. Beloved seeker, pause now. Breathe. Feel these words not just in your mind, but in your chest. Feel the buzzing of your thoughts, the sting of your ego, the restlessness within you. Then hear the voice of the Quran. Allah is not timid to give even this as an example. This is not about the mosquito. This is about you. This is about the arrogance that blinds and the humility that opens. This is about the Quran as a mirror, revealing the soil of your heart. The next time you hear the faint buzz of a mosquito in the night, let it remind you of this verse. Let it whisper, your ego is small, fragile, dependent. Do not let it drain your soul. See the divine even in the smallest of things. If this verse touched you, do not let it fade like a passing sound. Carry it with you. Reflect on it. Share it with others. Let them know that the Quran is not a book of dry laws or distant stories. It is a living ocean where even the smallest wave holds eternity. Stay with this journey. Walk deeper into the Quran with us, verse by verse, through the lens of Sufi wisdom. For the more you see, the more you realize. There is no place, no moment, no creature where he is absent. May this verse open your eyes, soften your heart, and draw you closer to the one who said, "Indeed, Allah is not timid to present an example, even that of a mosquito."